What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Fast. Today, let's get started with Diego Lopes reacts to UFC champ Ilia Topuria's call for 155 move. Ilia Topuria caused many reactions with his comments on wanting to leave the UFC featherweight division behind for a move up to lightweight. UFC contender Diego Lopes was one of the many who were caught off guard by the 145-pound champion's bold remarks. Diego, who's knocking on the door of a title shot at featherweight, doesn't care if Topuria stays or leaves the division. However, he does find Topuria's potential move premature. From my point of view, I think he has work to do in the division. We have several contenders that have their sight on him, and I'm one of those. I would like a fight against him, and if he stays in the division, that's a fight that I'll look for. But if he is really leaving, he needs to make that decision, and let's see what happens with the division. I think those comments caught everyone by surprise since he had said he was going to defend his title against Volkanovski for his next fight. But who knows? We don't know what's going to happen with the division, and we're even asking the UFC what's going to happen, and we haven't gotten an answer. So maybe he's losing his patience, and that's why he made that comments about wanting to move to 155 to see if something happens, or UFC gives him an answer. Michael Page expected more from Shavkat Rakhmonov at UFC 310. Shavkat scored a unanimous decision win over Ian Garry in this past Saturday's 5-round welterweight co-main event at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Rakhmonov wasn't able to maintain his 100% finish rate against Machado Garry in a fight that mainly played out in the clinch. After watching Rakhmonov go 5 rounds for the first time in his career, Page is confident that UFC welterweight champion Belal Muhammad would have had his way with him if their initially scheduled fight for UFC 310 happened. Shavkat couldn't get anything, landed some good shots, but his fitness and muscular endurance definitely let him down. His balance seems to be very off. This was definitely by far not the best Rakhmonov we've seen. Although he's won it, I think anybody looking at this will look at him like, yeah, I can beat this guy. This wasn't his best performance, even though he's definitely won it. From both sides, it wasn't great. Renato Moicano advises UFC featherweight champion Ilia Topuria against moving up to lightweight. Moicano, who's won 4 fights in a row, sees Topuria's power translating to lightweight. However, stylistically, he expects his size and grappling to give him problems. To be honest, I think he would knock out a lot of people. He is very good. I think he is very good, but in my defense, I think I would finish him because I'm not a striker, I'm a grappler. If I get his back, I can finish him 100%. But if you try to strike against him, he is a solid striker. The fight against Max Holloway was just incredible. The guy is good, but to be honest too, I think he's very small for the division. I think he should stay at 145. Dricus Du Plessis reveals how close Khamzat Chimaev came to getting UFC 312 title shot. UFC middleweight champion Dricus Du Plessis claims Khamzat Chimaev was in consideration for his next title defense. Instead, Du Plessis will fight Sean Strickland at UFC 312, which will take place on February 8. Chimaev was touted as the potential #1 contender when he quickly submitted former champion Robert Whittaker at UFC 308. Du Plessis was excited about the opportunity to hand Chimaev his first loss, but acknowledges that fans were previously eager to see him fight Strickland again after their tightly contested affair at UFC 297. The Khamzat fight would have been a lot bigger in my opinion and more exciting. I haven't done it before. I haven't seen it before. He's unbeaten, but Strickland is an absolute beast in the octagon. Rumor has it that Khamzat will be in attendance for the fight against Strickland now on the 8th of February. I don't know how true that is, but if that's the case, I guess that's going to be the next fight. I'm going to beat Sean Strickland, and then Khamzat will be next. Michael Chandler not thinking about retirement despite recent UFC losses. Du Bronx emerged with a unanimous decision win last month, handing Chandler his 4th loss in his last 5 UFC appearances. Following the fight, he again called out McGregor. However, with the Irishman dealing with legal issues, that fight now seems off the table for a while. Given Michael Chandler's age, some likely assume that he's winding down his incredible fight career. However, that's not the case at all. In a recent interview, Chandler discussed his future. There, the 38-year-old admitted that he's not thinking much about retirement. While he's had a few losses as of late, Michael Chandler believes he's still got a lot of tread left on his tires. I've got a lot of tread left on my tires, even though I got banged up a little bit in my last fight. I trained pretty athletically, but I fell like 4 or 5 times in that fight because of the foundation I had on my legs, and I couldn't get my footing. I kept saying to Robbie in my corner, I can't get my footing. And I was thinking it was just the canvas and I was slipping around, but it was because I wasn't putting weight on my left leg. That's when I tripped and dislocated my thumb. I had these little minor injuries, but I didn't take any damage to the head. Oliveira didn't land a lot of punches, a few here and there, but not a lot of damage to the the head, which is obviously your most important asset that you have. I'm protecting myself, recovering really well. I could see myself fighting into my early 40s for sure, the next couple of years, because I got a lot of tread left on the tires. Colby Covington issued a statement to Jon Jones. While Covington is focused on his upcoming UFC Tampa showdown against Joaquin Buckley this Saturday, he's also keeping an eye on Jones, the UFC heavyweight champion, and his future plans. Like many who disagree with Jones's stance on dodging Aspinall, Covington didn't hold back his criticism of Jones at the UFC Tampa Media Day. I think Jon needs to stop ducking Tom Aspinall just like he ducked Francis Ngannou. He ducked Ngannou for years, now he's ducking Aspinall. So I don't think anything special of Jon Jones. Miocic is an older fighter who shouldn't have been in the octagon with Jones. He was just looking to get paid. So I don't think Jon's performance was anything special.